I think today in my media career is a significant day for me, because being a Thomian as well as this particular personality whom I'm going to have a few words with, he's a person, he's an icon in Sri Lanka, because he's the person who brought in so many foreign movie productions into Sri Lanka by promoting Sri Lanka. In today's context also there are a few others who are promoting Sri Lanka in so many forms and in fashion, but many years ago, when there was no one to promote Sri Lanka, he was a person behind it, this personality. I think he's a revered personality because he should be known, he's associated with the film industry, and he had done so much of human service for the upliftment of the industry itself. It's none other than Mr. Chandran Rutnam, the personality who needs no introduction at all. So, Mr. Chandran Rutnam, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
So this I have been waiting for a long time to get a small interview from you.
Oh, good.
And being in the industry as well. I suppose because in today's parlance there are so many people who are having songs done, promotions done this way, that way, a lot of money is being thrown in. But during your time, when you started out, you're still there, we need you. Like without anything, you started promoting Sri Lanka, locations of Sri Lanka. I can still remember when I was at Mount as a small boy, Bo Derek's movie.
Yes, Tarzan.
A lot of people used to go in and see, what was happening there, especially because of Bo Derek.
Yes, of course.
And then Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Then you had Mother Teresa.
Yes.
But with the current crisis, the post-COVID, now COVID-19, now this 2020.
Yes.
So with this industry, the industry has collapsed basically.
Yes.
Cinema halls are shut.
Yeah.
And there are no new movies coming in, no productions. Those what have been there, even the Sinhala movies held back. No American productions, no Indian productions, nothing to see. The future is bleak, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So at this stage, a personality like you, who is always had been innovating and who had always had this aspirations, innovation to bring about some new things into the film industry, what would be your strategy?
Yes, well, we have to get over this COVID situation, but I think that people will start producing films sooner or later. I mean, it's not something, it's one of the great art forms, and it's not something that will disappear. But the method of exhibiting that product will have to change, and it will change. Because all of us are in today's technology has created a situation where even a family is not a wholesome family. They are individual particles of the family. Everybody is very independent. They think differently. Your mother thought in one way, your wife thinks in another way, your daughter thinks in a different way. So everybody has different interests. But talking about the local film industry, the film industry has gone nowhere. It has from the start. I don't know what happened, but see, we are taking advice from people who are not stakeholders, actors, who should hang up their gloves by now, who should retire, but they are put in there as advisors. I'll give you an example. Take a guy like Ravindra Randenia. He's an actor. Has he built a cinema? Has he produced a film? No. How can he be an advisor? So I'm just giving you just one example. And anyway, talk about Ravindra, he jumps from one party to another, right? One day he's with the UMP, one day he's with this party, that party. You don't know where the hell he's going to jump next. Anyway, apart from that, so we need people with fresh ideas and who will go with the time. The time today is people are not going to the movie as they used to go in the old days as a family. Today, if you want to attract somebody to go to a movie, cinema, a theater, who will get his family or his girlfriend and make that trip, it's got to be an event. It's got to be it should be luxurious. What you're going to present on the screen has got to be fantastic, gigantic, like IMAX, something very special. They are not going to go and see the movie. The average movie, they are not going to go and see it in the cinema. They will see it on their iPhone or on TV. So times have changed, but we are not keeping up with the times. So, as far as I am concerned, I have given up. about trying to advise anybody about exhibiting films in Sri Lanka.
But you have your own systems, own schemes.
Of course, I have thought of a system. You got to be ahead of the times. You know, today you make a film, you have to wait 3 years before it's shown.
So what you're saying is, in short, you cannot be in isolation, but you have to be in a global context.
In a globe, you got to think of it. You got to think of it in a global context. Now, for instance, you make a film, you wait 3 years. The director most probably has retired or died, and the Nilia is old lady, and the subject is irrelevant. So nobody is going to get. Where's the excitement and the vitality of going to see a wonderful event? It's not there. So we are diffusing it by the time it comes in 2 years. So this system is bad. A film has to be made within the first 3 months. Now in India, what do? They fix the release date and then they make the movie. Okay. And then they spend say 3 months and then they are all ready for the release. It's current. There's vitality. But in our country, we are not thinking about it in those terms. We have to. I love my country. I came back to my country after 38 years in the United States. I'm a Sri Lankan citizen and proud to say that. But my passion for this industry, all we get are obstacles. I try to build a studio in Digana. Obstacles. Everybody wants to pull you down. The biggest problem in Sri Lanka is jealousy and envy. If somebody is climbing up, they pull them down. If a director gets an award, they belittle the award. Their award is better than that award. That award is better than this award. But what is awards? The awards, when you go to a film festival and you watch and you present your film for an award, you have 100 people who are watching the film, who have come to the festival, who they watch it free. And when they watch it free, they say, "Well done, wonderful," and give you an award. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in making a movie to make money. I want people to see it. It's got to, and the continuity of the business depends on the commerce of the business.
More in commercial lines rather than on art movies.
No. That's a good point you brought up. Just because a film is popular, you use the word commercial.
Okay, like pop.
Yes, like pop. Yes, exactly. So those are just words. Every film has got art. What do they call it? They call it an art movie. Make a commercial movie. Nah, make art movie commercially presented. So we have to make money. Now today, a director, some guy goes and gets some money from a lovely, I call them angels, these producers. I call them angels. Some angel gives the money. He goes. He's only interested in winning an award. He comes, gets a garland and the award, a piece of brass, and then the producer has lost all his money. He's mortgaged his house. He's ready to commit suicide, and they are not talking to each other.
Correct.
And they will never go back. They are so these are the problems of Sri Lanka. But we can fix it. But we are not fixing it. We got these old people sitting, and even at my age, get advice from younger people or get advice from people who have experienced the industry. But we are having ex-actresses. I mean, these people are not stakeholders.
No, I can remember at one time they were acting, those who were past 50 were also trying to be youth.
Yes.
Like they were acting the roles of a 24-year-old, 25-year-old. That was there. Now, of course, it's not there.
Now, history is history. Anyway.
Do you think Sri Lanka could be sold too? Now, you started.
Sri Lanka is let me tell you, Sri Lanka is the greatest country in the world. And I'll tell you why. God placed us in the center of the world. In the center. Take the map. We are in the center of the world. We have our own. We are not big. We are the right size, controllable size. We have beautiful blue waters surrounding us. We have access to the east and the west and the Middle East. Tell me any country that is in a better position than this wonderful pearl of the Indian Ocean. And if we cannot sell this wondrous, wondrous gift that God gave us, who the hell are we? We have to promote it. I have promoted it since 1979. But then, people come and mess it up. And, I'll give you a good example. I had my father was doctor he's an academic, academic. And my mother is very artistic. Her brother was Donald Vijayaratna of Donald Studio. So I come from that background of creativity. So I fired one guy from my company. He sends an anonymous letter to the president saying that I'm from the LTTE.
I know, I'm very well aware of it.
I'm from the LTTE. And then I form a company called Lion Air, and I'm giving my planes to the Air Force and winning and I was also instrumental, I'm proud to say, taking over Jaffna because of Lion Air. If there was no Lion Air, you would not take over Jaffna at that time. Doing all this, and they are saying that my planes are not crashing because LTT is supporting me, and all the Air Force planes are crashing. Air Force planes are crashing because of various other reasons. We don't want to go into that. But my planes are checked, and they are well looked after, and they are not crashing. Then how come Rutnam's planes are not crashing? Because he is LTT. You know, he is LTT. Now, and then his father is also LTT, everybody is LTT. Then LTT hammers my plane. They shot my plane down. Now the whole thing changed. Oh, maybe he didn't pay the LTT. So these are the things. We got to get
I remember there were some explosives that were there.
That's another thing. No, there were no explosives. There were no explosives. I had an office. And I made the movie Road from Elephant Pass, and we used some explosives. That is 2 years prior. So there is no explosives. There's no reason to keep explosives. There was nothing. My competitor, one of my competitors are all guys who work for me. They learn the business and they become a competitor. Leave me alone, do your business. Don't try to. So I was supposed to give a speech at IFA. You remember 2010. They wanted to stop me from doing. So they said that I have explosives in my office that I gave away 2 years ago. Not in my present home or in my office. These are premises that I gave up 2 years ago. They have said that they have found explosives. And they arrested me, locked me up, put me in prison for 4 days. You see. But, it was not a big deal to me. I was annoyed. But I treated the 4 days, I knew I was not guilty, so I treated the 4 days very nicely. I looked at Velikada and I did a good survey for future films making and all that. And also I'm an ex-US military man. I did 6 years in the United States Army. I was private first class. And I was a sharpshooter. I have a medal for it also. So I'm very proud of myself. So all these things putting me in jail for 4 days is nothing to me.
You are gone into meditation.
Yeah. So I wrote a book, and I wrote about these rascals who put me in there. I'll give you the book before you leave.
Thank you.
So anyway, so these are the things about our country. We have to get away from this envy. We got to get away from this jealousy, and we got to follow the philosophy of Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew had a home. When he died, he had that same home. And what he did for the country when there were ethnic differences, 80% Chinese, I forget the percentage, but then you have Chinese, Malays and Indians. He brought them all together. What did he say? Language, you can all have your languages, but English is the predominant language. Everybody, that is why they are successful. We were lucky, we were in St. Thomas's learning English, but the next generation after that suffered. I love Mr. Islabduadi Bandaranaike, but he said single only to win the election. And then what happened? He was going to put it back into shape, but he was killed. Wonderful man and a family friend. So then that whole generation did not have English. Some of these people who work for me, they would have been tycoons if they knew English. They're so capable. So now, first thing we should do politically, without trying to destroy the other party or the other person, is to get away from this envy and the jealousy, and together build our nation. And you, I'm glad you're a Thomian, and I trust you and I believe you, and I give you all the confidence to go forth in your election and get into a position where you can help our country. I think that's very important. So you have all my support. But let's get away from jealousy, envy. It's there in the film business, it's there in politics, it's there in every business in Sri Lanka. That is a disease that came with our beauty of our country. I say God gave us the most beautiful country in the world, gave us the most wonderful people, but gave us one lousy trait or two lousy traits of jealousy and envy. So, Jayawewa, go forward. We are with you. All the best to you, my dear Thomian.
Just before I wind up, I just want to know, now you have a particular strategy.
Yes.
To put in place, where now we know about the youth, now they are looking forward, they treat you the way they respect what you have, and everything is there. Now this new system, new platforms, new technology, the tools that you can use, are you using it in order, to sum up?
Yes. Now here's the thing. You see, what is interesting is, I was the first person to start a film location service company in the whole world. In the world. And then it developed and other countries started doing what I do. So I'm innovative. So now what people are trying to do now is they want to follow me.
Oh, right.
But that is outdated. Outdated. So what I have to do is I have gone forward. I have other ideas. I have this platform, Tonto Flix. I'm going to show It's called Tonto Flix.
Tonto Flix.
Yeah. It's going to show movies, Sri Lankan movies, all over the world. We have 4.5 million Sri Lankans living outside Sri Lanka. I am catering to them.
Without any delay. That's once the production is done.
And not only that, I have created a fund where I am going to produce movies for the youth. Any young man can come to me with a decent story, and if I like the story, if I believe in the guy and I like the story, then we will fund it. We will give all our equipment, and we will also give a certain amount of funding. Not 100% funding, but certain amount of funding. And then that picture will go, not 2 years from now in the queue, it goes straight to me, onto my platform. They'll see it tomorrow. That's the whole idea.
And the money?
And the money will go directly to them.
Okay.
If you're the producer, right, and you give me your movie, I give you 60%. And the money will come, it will not come to me. It will come directly to you, and you will know how many hits you had. Okay. Everything is transparent. That is the future.
Right.
So let's think about the future. Let's be innovative, not think about the same old bajau things that we have been doing. Those times are gone. Let's not worry about that. Forget that part of it. Use the past as experience for the future that is presented to you.
Thank you.